aloud and worshipped the one true God, Yahweh. Most of the other people worshipped a fake God they had made of wood and stone, who they called Baal. It made God very sad that his chosen people, who he had saved from being slaves in Egypt, would worship this worthless idol. So he told Elijah that he would stop the rain from falling until the people turned their hearts back to him. Elijah told the king that there would be no rain and then traveled around the country telling people about God.
Hey people, God loves you. Don't worship that worthless idol. Worship God. Obey His commandments and He will take care of you.
Now we'll see goodbye. We can see him, and he's made up of pure gold.
After 3 years without rain, it was becoming desperate. Most of the people were farmers and herdsmen. Their crops wouldn't grow without rain. Their herds couldn't survive without grass and water.
It has been 3 years now since that prophet has cursed. Servants, go far and wide in Israel and find Elijah and bring him to me.
They searched for Elijah for a long time, but they could not find him. On the other hand, people started looking for water, but the water resources were dry.
What will we do? We are going to starve without our crops.
Eventually, God told Elijah it was time to have a showdown. He went to Ahab and told him to meet him on the top of a nearby mountain.
Tell those prophets of Baal, all 400 of them, to meet me at Mount Carmel. We'll let the people decide once and for all, who is God, Baal or the Lord?
Elijah asked them to bring 2 bulls, one cut for the prophets of Baal and the other bull for him. Then he asked them to place the sacrificial offering on their altar and pray to their God. The God who accepts the sacrifice by sending the fire would be the real God.
So, you prophets of Baal, call on your God, and I'll call on mine. The God who answers with fire. He is the real God.
So the prophets of Baal began to call on their God. But nothing happened. They shouted, danced around, and cut themselves with knives, trying to get him to answer. Elijah was enjoying this because he was very angry with these prophets for leading the people into sin. He began to mock them.
Haha, maybe you're not calling loudly enough. Maybe he's on a journey or in the bathroom. Keep trying.
For hours they called on Baal, but nothing happened. Exhausted, they gave up. Now it was Elijah's turn.
Bring jugs of water and douse God's altar till it's drenched, so there can be no question about God's answer.
The people were
was made by this, because water was so precious.
Again,
Jug after jug of water was poured on the altar, and still Elijah had them pour it out.
again.
Finally, the water filled the trench around the altar. Then Elijah prayed to God.
God, please show that you are the one true God.
Fire fell from heaven and burned up the sacrifice. All the water in the trench dried up, and even burnt up the stones of the altar.
So, the people of Israel, choose today who you will worship, Baal or the one true God.
The people shouted together,
We will serve God. We will serve God.
and so the people of Israel learned a powerful lesson that day. They saw with their own eyes that the idols they had worshipped were nothing but lifeless objects, unable to help them in their time of need. But the one true God, Yahweh, showed his mighty power, proving that he alone is worthy of worship. That same day, God opened the heavens and made rain fall on the land again. The story reminds us that no matter how far we may stray, it is never too late to return to God. He is always ready to show his love and power to those who seek him with all their hearts. So, let us choose today, just as the people of Israel did, to serve the one